There has been some frank discussions happening inside the ACC meetings. Were they able to get to a new revenue plan that all the members would sign off on? Welcome to episode 213 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Flugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. We're heading right into the Ross Dellenger article. The guy who broke the news that the 7 schools were meeting with each other in cloak and dagger style over the last few months. Ross Dellenger came out with an article late last night. The ACC's growing revenue gap sparks frank discussions between the schools. Athletic directors ramped up talks Tuesday about a new financial model after concerns had grown about the conference's future. Amelia Island, Florida, for most of the first 2 days of the ACC spring meetings, the vacuum of information surrounding the future of the league's revenue model has been filled with the common hysterics on social media about college sports being on the precipice of another summer of imminent realignment chaos. Well, we might not be there, at least not yet. Athletic directors were expected to only briefly discuss change in the ACC revenue distribution model this week, but those discussions expanded and intensified after the publication Monday of an SI story detailing some internal strife within the league over the growing revenue gap between the ACC and the Big Ten SEC. The first day of the meetings went nearly 70 minutes over time when finished. Phillips, the commissioner, hurriedly left the room and walked past reporters with heads down and little in the way of comment beyond a quip about needing to get to dinner, an agreement they had made before breaking for the day, according to a source. So that first day meeting that Monday, they all went past those reporters without saying a word. Florida State's athletic director Michael Alford, who along with Clemson's Graham Neff have been the most vocal in the need to change the revenue system, was complimentary about the behind the closed door talks after day 2, after yesterday and Tuesday. But it's not expected that the athletic directors will vote on a proposal before they leave Florida, though substantial progress has been made towards a solution. So they made progress, but they're not going to be voting on it before they leave Amelia Island, Florida here after today, Wednesday. These conversations that we've had in the last 2 days have been the most open and transparent discussions that we've had since I've been in this conference, Alford said. Now, I haven't been in the conference very long, but talking to the others who have been here for many years, they commented that as well. They've never had this open, transparent discussion amongst the ADs and the commissioner and his staff. The dialogue's been great. People understand the issues. They're really taking a look at how we're going to fix this model that we have in the ACC that would allow us to compete among our peers. In other words, the peers in the SEC and the Big Ten. Over the last several months, 7 conference members have coalesced over the situation. Their officials meeting together and examining options to potentially exit or dissolve the league and break the grant of rights, a movement detailed in Monday's SI story. Inside meetings this week, administrators acknowledged the situation with the 7. An issue was discussed among officials, many whom were not aware of the movement of the 7 fellow members. Those 7 schools, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, Miami, North Carolina State, Virginia, Virginia Tech, are not expected to continue any group meetings or pursue a group exit. Wow. So we have confirmation that a lot of schools did not know that these 7, the Magnificent 7, as Brett McMurphy have called them, they did not know that these 7 were meeting in secret. We're very thrilled about this being in the league. We're very thrilled about being in this league, and we want to stay in it, Alford said of his school's outlook on the future. So Florida State's athletic director is now playing nice. He's in those meetings. He's come out with a positive attitude, at least with some positive comments. As SI reported Monday, there were few solutions for the 7 schools that did not involve significant legal battles from fellow members and league office and ESPN, whose TV contract with the league coincides with the grant of rights. How much revenue a new model would pay ACC schools cannot bridge the sizable gap between the league and its competition in the SEC and the Big Ten under the current agreement. While 5 or 10 million extra certainly is not immaterial, it is also isn't the 30 or 40 million an ACC school would need for complete monetary parity, a reality Alford acknowledges. There's not a magic number, Alford said. Really, we're looking to make sure we're competitive. You look at the revenue shares of other leagues and how they're going to invest it, and you need to be able to stay up to par with some of the changes they're going to do and how they're going to use that revenue. We're the third best media agreement right now. We want to stay the third best. We've been able to compete with them being the third best. To truly close the gap, the nuclear option of legally challenge the grant of rights and exiting the league is the only option. To close all that 30 to 40 million, someone's going to have to challenge the grant of rights and win or get a settlement. That's the only option. Many believe the grant of rights is airtight, and time will tell if it truly is. There are also many within the college sports who believe a challenge to it is inevitable. But if doing so was straightforward or cheap, it would have happened already. There's not an easy solution, says Landis Barber, an attorney of Raleigh-based Saffron Law, who has analyzed the grant of rights agreement. You could see that if a league is dissolved, then there is no grant of rights agreements. But is this a viable option? Does it really get rid of your TV rights? A big issue is, what is ESPN's incentive to let you out of this? This is all these issues we've talked about here at Peek Around a Corner extensively, especially since December 26, 2022 in our Florida State Money Perch live show. Any new revenue model the athletic directors settle on would have to also be approved by the conference board of directors, composed of the 15 presidents and the chancellors of the ACC schools, including Notre Dame, which competes in the conference for all sports except football and ice hockey. Once again, Notre Dame has a vote in this issue, and it seems to be all other issues in the ACC. It would take the form of a merit-based payout system. Alford referred to it as success initiatives. And it is highly unlikely any of the payout would come from the TV revenue the league earns from ESPN, creating a base for every school. Instead, whatever the new model is, decided on who likely pay out from the pool, including NCAA basketball tournament, bowl, expanded college football playoff, and other money the league takes in. Wake Forest head coach Dave Clawson, whose school is not part of the 7 that has brought this issue to the forefront, actually welcomed the system that rewards some sort of sporting merit. If revenue distribution is based on investment in football and on-field success, I think that would be great. And I think Wake Forest would be very comfortable with that model, Clawson said. If you base it on your investment in football and winning football games, I think we'd probably end up on the good end of that. Control the controllables. We have made a huge institutional investment in football at Wake Forest. We invested over $110 million in new facilities over the last 7 years. We're about to open up a brand new $40 million locker room. We've won the second or third or fourth most games in the ACC the last 7 years. We have the second longest bowl streak in the ACC. Don't expect this to be the only tweak the schools make to the revenue agreement when it happens. It will be a big change, but Alford said the league will continue to find ways to pursue other revenue streams and generate more dollars in the future. Give me your thoughts and comments in the comment section below the video on what was said here by Mike Alford, by Wake Forest's head football coach Clawson, and others. We at Peek Around the Corner have been saying that this story is really only about in the middle of the beginning. There's a long ways to go. Things are not going to happen like this here in 2023. We were told December 26, 2022 to look at the first quarter, the second quarter of 2024 before this really heats up, before there is a school that could potentially challenge the grant of rights in the courts. And again, the dissolution, dissolving a conference, just having 8 schools vote to dissolve the conference. We've been saying that peek around the corner, that's not an easy task. We've been told that that won't work. It would just go to the courts, just like if a school individually challenged the grant of rights in the courts. There is no easy solution for these ACC schools. However, this is definitely not the end of it. The unequal revenue plan, which I believe is really based upon with that new college football playoff money that's going to be coming in 2024, 2025. I think some of those schools, a lot of those ACC schools are willing to put up some of that extra money into the coffers of whoever does the best in football during the ACC football seasons coming up. I think that has a large part to do with this coming to a plan, coming to a solution, or not a solution, a resolution in this unequal revenue sharing plan discussions that they've been having in the ACC. But does it solve the real solution of the huge money gap for years and years and years down the road with the Big Ten and the SEC? Of course, it does not. So this story has only just begun. But it sounds like the ACC schools are coming out of this meeting holding hands. The presidents will probably vote on it and approve it. But does it solve anything? Not really. So hang with us here at Peek Around the Corner. Let's follow this ACC story, and it's going to go on for a very long time. Let's follow it together. Until next time, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.